Hey everybody, welcome to the video. Very glad you could join me for this. Been looking forward to making this for a little bit now. I've seen a lot of the tips and tricks guides coming out for Marauders. I think they're really great. I'm really glad what this community is putting forward, but I wanted to do something a little bit different. These are still a tips and tricks video, and it's got a general theme to it. Some of these you guys have all heard before. A lot of these I feel like I haven't really heard anybody else bring up, and I would also like to thank people around the Reddit and YouTube for giving me some of these suggestions. So thanks to everybody. This community is great so far. Really like what everybody's building. Really like seeing all the YouTube videos coming out. So here we go. So a lot of people wonder what the maps look like from the outside, and it is confusing at first, but I promise you'll get it. The game does not let you pick your own map, nor does it tell you what map you're on when you first spawn. It just says outer reaches of space. So this is what the asteroid mine looks like, also known as just the mine, also known as the Iridium asteroid mine. This is L1812 Service Space Station, also known as Space Station or Spaceport. I've heard it called all of those, and it does reference it as a port and space station in multiple contracts. This is the Navy outpost. This is the Penal Colony Beta 5. Penal Colony, penal if you're 14 like us and like to have a laugh. And finally, the Terraformer. So just go back through and look at those as much as you need to, kind of get to familiarize yourself with those, but they're all really, really unique looking. They just all seem kind of samey. The Terraformer and the asteroid mine very often get confused, and that's totally understandable. I mean, they're both seem to be built right into a rock, so totally fine. So the next thing I want to talk about is going broke, gear fear, stuff like that, and some things you can do to alleviate the stress of going broke. And the number one thing I want to tell you guys is not to worry about losing gear. I know you've heard this 1,000 times before, but I promise you, do not be scared. Do not save your Thompson for some raid that's never going to happen. You never know when you're going to go into a raid and face a 4-man who's wearing, level 10 armor, full panzer gear, all this crap, and you're just going to need your Thompson and you're going to need this armor. Just wear the armor. The more geared you go in, the better you're going to do. And that's just, there's no getting around that. You're going to be more confident. You're going to be able to take more bullets. There is a huge difference between the jerkin, the leather jerkin, and, a plate rig. You will see a night and day difference. AI doesn't kill you immediately. Other Marauders will avoid you sometimes. So that's something to keep in mind. Another thing is, a lot of times with these games like Hunt Showdown and Tarkov, and especially Marauders, there's this idea that everybody is some sort of Chad, and that you're this little Timmy who's just like ratting around in the corner. That's not true. I mean, there's like 10% of players, I would guess, are these type of guys who've besieged, 4 or 5 times now. Most people just aren't like that, so don't be afraid. Not everybody is playing at this super high level, and you will have those nights where the game just beats you down. It just beats the piss out of you. We've had nights where we kill Marauders every single raid, and we make out with really, really good loot, and, we're all above $500,000, and then there's other nights, man, we just... we can't stop dying. And every firefight, it just feels like somebody's hacking or somebody's just way better than you. And, it's probably neither one of those. It's just how it is. This is how these games are. So don't be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of in this game. It's very straightforward. Go in there, be confident, wear some decent armor, bring in your good guns, only go low whenever you need to go low, especially on the guns and armor. So what are some things you can do to keep from going broke? Some of my favorite things to do that a lot of people don't seem to do is you can unload your guns before selling them, and you still get the same amount of money. So you can see from this here that it doesn't matter what ammo's in the gun, it still sells for the same amount. And even if you don't sell the ammo afterwards and make a little extra money, it keeps the cost of buying ammo low. A lot of the times I don't even buy ammo anymore. I just always strip guns of their 45 because I really like using the Thompson. The next thing is to buy cheap guns and armor and scrap them from the traders. Super easy way to get a hold of junk scrap and synthetic scrap. I do not buy helmets and armor anymore. I'm not even that good at this game. Don't get me wrong. I don't always get out with a bunch of kills and a lot of loot. I die very frequently. But this is an excellent way for people to gather up that junk scrap and synthetic scrap. Because, again, I love the M1 flak vest. It's a very good and effective one to use. I also like the M1 helmet, so I often rock those very frequently in our raids, and they're cheap to make. And by just spending, $700 on a vest, you can generally scrap that down and get at least a junk scrap and a synthetic scrap. So that'll really, really help you guys out. I would highly recommend doing that. Anytime you have a nice cushion of money and you are running low on supplies, please do buy armor and guns, the cheap ones, just the cheap ones, and scrap them down. Okay, and saving money with a raid. Dude, the VZ Klob is amazing. It absolutely slaps. I do not see anybody using this weapon, and I do not know why. I think in my whole time of playing this, which I'm not that many hours in, probably 50 hours in, I've not seen a single person using the Klob except one guy who I literally killed while filming videos for this video. So it's great. You can craft it for 2 junk scrap and 1 synthetic scrap. And again, it's devastating. It's way better than the Luger. So if you're like me and suck at using pistols, and boy, I really do suck at using pistols, invest in a VZ Klob. Again, you can craft it for stupidly cheap. It's really good. It's fast firing. It uses the 9mm you get for free off of the table of the rust bucket. So you can't really go wrong with it. Open all crates and boxes. Make sure that you do that because you will really screw yourself if you're just selling these things off. I don't think it's always a set amount. It's a random amount in each one, but it seems to be that every time I have the option to sell a box versus opening a box, and by that I mean like the jewelry boxes, ammo crates, ration crates, stuff like that, it seems to be that you sell all the crates for less than if you just opened them and sold the contents of it. The only ones that are iffy on that are the ration crate and the biscuit tin for sure. The biscuit tin, you can sell like 10 biscuits out of it for like $99, or you can sell it for like $500. So it's a pretty easy thing. But like jewelry box, dude, you can sell it for, a certain amount, but dude, you'll get way more if you open it up. So do open basically all crates and boxes. Maybe not the ration one, definitely not the biscuit tin. Another thing that'll help you drastically later on is destroying other ships before raids. If you can, you should definitely be focusing on ship PvP. I'm not saying that you need to focus your whole raid on it, or really, how would I describe it? I wouldn't go hardcore on it, but as you're making your way, take shots at other people. If there's a chance for you to disable somebody before you get in the raid, that is potentially a whole team who is not going to make it to the raid. That's 4 less Marauders in a raid to bother you. Especially later on when you get the better ships, just disable people and you can immediately just go off and have a great time. And, hey, there's less Marauders in a raid. I've not confirmed this one, but I've heard this one going around, so I did want to share it here. Again, I have not confirmed it, but you can keep shooting disabled AI ships and it will kill people inside of it. So I don't know if you've ever been shot before and disabled, and when you're getting shot, you keep taking damage. It's now transferred to you and your crew rather than the ship itself. People are saying that does work on the AI ships. So, if you want to go raid a capital frigate, that might be the way to do it. Speaking of ship combat, you can actually leave raids with a Marauder who breached your ship. I will go ahead and show that here. It's incredibly interesting. I don't know if that's going to change. Just a heads up, if you're right next to the exit like I was there, you can currently leave. I do kind of hope this gets patched out. I feel like it would add some more stakes, but I don't really know. I guess it could prevent people from spamming it one way or the other. This one's incredibly handy for when you're in intense firefights and you want to get some quick looting done, or you've just got out of a firefight and you hear more people coming. If you hold down Alt and then left click on an item in your inventory, you will discard it onto the ground. Again, Alt left click to quick drop items. Again, but it's only in your inventory, so you can't do it off of corpses and stuff, to my knowledge. Middle mouse button is the quick use. There's no reason for you to right click and hit use. That just wastes time. Just middle mouse button and bada bing, bada boom, you've healed. Let's talk about a couple interesting ones I found out to wrap up. Vaulting does minimal damage. If you're ever on a catwalk on Navy Outpost, it works really well to just jump off. You don't really lose that much health. And especially if you're sandwiched between 2 teams and you've got your escape right below, just jump down. The only one I would be really wary of are the catwalks on the merchant ship, and of course some of the places in the asteroid mine might be too high. But as you can see from this, that's quite a high drop I did, and I didn't take too much damage. I went and did it 2 or 3 times and seemed to be completely fine. I think my health there was about 5 drops, but I did take a couple shots from some of the SAS members in the AV outpost. But still, it's worth keeping in mind. You can also drop down on those guns there, and that works out really well as well. So look out. There's a lot of places in the maps where you can drop down off of things. onto boxes, onto whatever, and it really helps as alternate routes rather than having to run right into foes. Shields block damage when on your back entirely. They do not suffer durability damage either. I had my wife hop into a raid with me and gave her a shield, put it on her back, and not only did it not hurt her, the durability didn't go anywhere.
I'm not hurt at all.
Okay, that's what we needed to know.
And the durability of my shield hasn't hurt either.
The durability hasn't gone down either. Drop that ammo. So if you're ever really wanting to bulk up and you can spare that secondary slot, I would definitely slap a shield back there. That blocks most body shots. And especially if you have the large shield, your whole back is going to be covered along with your legs. So, well, hey guys, thanks for stopping by and watching this. I hope a lot of this was helpful for you guys. If you guys have any questions, do drop them down in the comments below. I'm going to try to keep getting some more Marauders content out there, which includes, funny gameplay and just tips and tricks. I am also working on map guides. The one I really want to go through first is the service space station. I want to show off all the points of interest like the spaceport manifest and bank transfers and stuff like that. That way you guys can kind of learn your way around that map and really know where everything is, and just some hot loot spots and hot zones to where I always get into combat. I think that would be a really good idea. So if you want to, drop a like and subscribe. I would be more than happy to have you guys aboard and teach you guys some more things. I'm not perfect at this game, but I really do appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this. So, all right, guys, you have a great day.